Yeah, so I had the scan.
Yeah.
It looks the same as usual.
Okay.
That's all I had to tell you.
Amazing.
They were all like, what are you doing here? And I'm like, I'm starting another cycle. And so I was telling them, like Kimberly saw in our paperwork that that you were doing another microtesty and stuff. And she's like, yeah, so you're back again. And it's so funny, like I'm so glad I don't go in for the day 9 scan because like there's still nothing to see on day 11.
Yeah.
So I don't know, the machine in the room that I went to, they kind of don't show the residual follicle cysts very well. Like it's all kind of blurry, but you could see that there was all ones there. But it basically looks like there's maybe 9 on each side, but it's hard to tell what's left over from last cycle and what's new ones. And then there's also little tiny ones. But it's basically like they're not even worth measuring because they're all at 10 millimeters.
Oh right.
And it's, you know what I mean, there's nothing even to see. They're not going to get me in again until Monday, which will be day 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. It'll be day 16, so it'll be pretty late. But this is the thing, I don't want to go in for loads and loads of scans.
No. Loads and loads of probes.
Yeah, I get probed enough.
Keep Wanda.
Oh, look at you.
In the holster.
Cool. Keep it in the holster. Yeah. And Kimberly sent you a present. She wanted to give you something. She's like, I don't have anything to give him. So she sent you this. But she signed it for you.
Wow. Love Kimberly.
What do they say about not wasting PPE?
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so
well,
that's...
I can use that at work.
Yeah. So, there you go. That's for you.
Okay.
Remember how last time she sent you an anal probe?
It's the other way.
Oh, I don't know which way they go.
Go out.
Do you remember last time when she sent you an anal probe for you to practice with? On yourself, not on me. You don't remember that?
No. Maybe it never made it to me.
I gave it to you. Anyway, that was her gift.
Oh.
But they miss you, they want to see you.
Hmm.
They said, oh, he's got such a great sense of humour. And then they go, and then they backpedal and they go, oh, you're funny too. And then I go, no, he's funnier than me. It's fine, whatever. So yeah, are you excited that we're pretty much having exactly the same cycle again?
Again.
But at least there's some consistency, right?
Yeah.
At least we're not getting like surprised and scared by things anymore.
Yeah. And you had your clean out. So.
Well, yeah, we didn't really look at my like uterus. Doesn't look. I didn't notice anything. I didn't notice anything really looking different there.
Yeah.
But I think it was because there was really nothing to see in my hysteroscopy and stuff. There was nothing there to begin with, so there's still nothing there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it looks like we're on track to get, you know, another 8 to 10 eggs again. So it's weird that this has become so like normal.
Yeah.
Anyway, are you glad that I sat you down to tell you that?
Oh yeah, I'm glad.
You want to get on with your day now?
I'm going to go to bed.
Okay.
Think about the spermies and eggs and...
Okay, you go meditate on sperm. Okay, so I'm just here at the hospital getting my COVID test. Yeah. Okay guys, I gotta say, I've had quite a lot of medical procedures done to me lately, but that COVID test is something. Wow. But I just kept thinking in my head, you know, this is for our kids and this is all part of the IVF process. But yeah, that was not fun. Really? That's how you...
That's how I'm doing it. Well, I've just been outside. You got something to tell me?
You're pretending to be considerate and caring.
What's happening?
Oh, look at you pretending to be all sweet.
What's happening?
Nothing's happening. It's just that because you don't have to come to any appointments anymore.
Oh, did you go to an appointment?
Oh my God. We're in this together.
Yeah.
Okay, so... Because you get off now and you don't have to come to any appointments, any surgeries.
Well, back there again.
All
We're
me.
moving on.
It's all me.
Come on, just give us the news, will you?
There's no news.
Don't hold... Oh, well.
There's no news. I just like you to sit down and talk about IVF treatment with me so that you feel my pain.
I feel your pain. Don't worry about it. I feel your pain.
Up the hoochie.
Every moment.
Okay, so the news is there's no news. So I have one follicle that's really taken off. It's like
wow.
21 millimeters. No, it's like 19 average, 21 on one side. But so that one has really taken off, which I'm hoping they don't pay attention to, because there's about 7 on each side, but they're sitting around the 13, 14 millimeter mark.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that I'll go in on Wednesday.
Yeah.
I think I'll go in
Just
on Friday.
Push.
Well, yeah, because
Well, it's only Monday. It's Monday. We're halfway through Monday, so.
Well, what we've learned though is that there's no point going in for the biggest follicles. It's those middle ones that come up that seem to make us get more.
Yeah.
And so I have a feeling that's what she'll do. And so that'll be day 20 that I had the surgery.
Friday.
Yeah. I find
13th on Friday.
Is it Friday 13th?
No, 13th surgery.
Friday 13th surgery on a Friday. That's what if something
good.
bad happened?
Yeah, but it's like the 18th. I think. Something like that. That means absolutely nothing.
Well, it does though.
But the baker's dozen make happen.
Nah.
I always just say it. So.
No.
And you always go no.
I think we'll be lucky.
There's nothing like.
I think we'll be lucky to get 8 or 9 this time.
That's what you said last time.
I don't think it's a 10. I'm usually right though.
Yeah, but you were wrong last time.
But I
do the same little jousting. Yes.
No, but
yes.
I'm more realistic.
No.
I'm more realistic.
10, 9.
I'm more realistic. So what are you saying? 13.
Baker's dozen. It's gonna happen. One time.
So.
One time.
I don't think so.
I just want a baker's dozen.
How many kids you want?
Jesus.
13.
13 kids.
Just one.
I think down in my family down the line, but it wasn't just with one woman. I think there was like.
That's what we were saying, because I have 10 kids in my family, and that's one of the questions I get asked is it the same parents? It's like, yep.
Yeah, I think down my line, in my heritage, there's a few there that
but you're Fijian, bro. You're Fijian, bro. You just pop them out.
They just love people.
They just love making babies.
Yeah, I think I was doing Ancestry. There's like 15 or 18 in one.
Ah, the good old days.
With about 5 different.
Do you remember? I heard this I heard a fairy tale story the other day where they used the word barren. Do you remember how it used to be like people either had loads of kids or they were barren?
BARON.
Yeah, no, EN. What? But don't think about that word. That word is horrible. Like, we're barren.
We're not barren. You're not barren.
Well,
you're not barren.
Okay, I want to reframe that word. I feel like it's almost like the infertility community should take that word back and be like the Barron brothers. I don't know. No?
It's going to take some reframing on that one.
It's going to take some advertising, marketing campaign.
No one thought to reframe it, they just dropped it out of society.
It's just such a horribly sad, it's a sad word. And I think that's because back then, if you were barren, that was it. There was no choices for you. Mm-hmm. And we're lucky that we live in a time when there's choices.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Lucky.
Do you know another thing I was thinking about the other day, which I think is relevant? So I was thinking about cycle 7, where we only got 1 egg. And that was such a shock to us because we've been getting 3, 3, 2, 3, 3, 3. And then when we got like 1, that was probably a low point for us, wouldn't you say? After the first cycle was a low point, but then after that 1 egg, that was a low point. And I thought about that afterwards, and we've been trying all these different protocols, and the cycle before we got 1 egg, we got 4 eggs, so that was the best we'd ever gotten at that stage. We went from 4 to 1.
We were elated.
Well, when we got 4, we were so excited, and we were like, right, we've finally got the medication right. This is the right one for us. And then we only got 1 egg with the same protocol, and we were like, maybe this isn't the right medication for us. But looking back, I mean, hindsight is so amazing, but looking back...
You're very good at recording too, like measuring, like being able to take note of stuff so we can actually measure it against.
Yeah, well, I just think if we hadn't gotten 1 egg that time, if we'd gotten, say, 3, we would never have gone back to the doctor and said, we need to try something different. Let's look at all the cycles and really look at what we got. Which meant that we went back to the protocol that we used on cycle 5, and then the next cycle we retrieved 9 eggs, and then we've been consistently retrieving 8, 9 or 10 eggs for the last 6 cycles. And you think about it, if that experience where we got 1 egg hadn't happened, we potentially would still be on the same protocol, retrieving 3, 4, 3, 2. So it's so hard to like always see the positive, but hindsight's such a good way to see the positive. And that moment when we had 1 egg, which we thought was our, hardest day, if that hadn't happened, our progress since then would have been so much slower.
So much.
And I think that's the thing about infertility. There's so many hard moments and so many, things that are negative, but I'm really trying to see it as every outcome, positive, negative, every outcome gets you closer to your positive because you learn something. That whole thing that you win or you learn. You don't, even though obviously there are huge losses in IVF, trying to see whenever you can something as, okay, we learnt that doesn't work for my body, or we learnt that, we didn't have any sperm, we need to move on to donor, or we learnt that, that honestly, we learnt that we can't have children means that we can move on to other options. And it's so hard at the time. It's so hard.
Yeah, it was brutal.
And there's people who've been through more brutal things than we have in terms of losses, miscarriages, and
even IVF aside, it's just...
Yeah, maybe we have some of that stuff still ahead of us, but just it helps to think everything that happens, if you can, is a step closer to where you are supposed to be. But yeah, I now look back at that 1 egg and just think, wow, that was lucky.
Just a little time.